Good morning, and it's 8:30. We are here with Tom Haynes from Central Services. And
good morning, commissioners. I'm going to hand out some documents for you, and I'll go through these documents.
do I announce and county administrator? Not sure if I announced.
Good morning, Decorah. That's yours.
Thank you.
So I'll start out with the documents that I've provided you. I think the announcement has not officially been made, but after this meeting, if the board is good with it, the announcement will go out that I am the new interim county administrator, which I have humbly accepted. I don't take that position lightly. But as that rollout, what I've provided you is a couple of documents, and the clerk of the board has this as well. A handout that I'll be emailing out to all department heads. It's kind of a quick reference guide that just quickly discusses the roles and responsibilities under the county administrator style of government. Our communication plan, decision-making protocols, the budget, and then some week one activities, including the transition being announced, the joint communications between the board and the county administrator, and then Mondays through Wednesdays, my attending all of the meetings and having the opportunity to discuss this change with department heads in a public forum in the meetings. And then we'll talk about some board action that's needed. And it doesn't have to be immediate. It can be over I'm targeting the next 2 weeks. And some of that is, the delegation process in the beginning of the year when you do boards and delegations, that's still under the Board of County Commissioners. But I don't know how much, in a lot of the counties that have a county administrator, the county administrator will actually either vet those people or work with the clerk of the board on those delegations and then recommend them to the BOCC. But the BOCC still holds the responsibility to appoint those boards and commissions. Probably.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
That's all right. Work to pass a resolution for signing authority for the county administrator. The county administrator does represent the county at state, local, and federal levels. They do have signing authority on a lot of things. We have to decide exactly what those are going to be, including contracts. The county administrators I've met with typically have signing authority up to on contracts up to about $50,000. Some of those counties also don't do contracts during consent. Why? They don't think it's needed because they talk about it in public meetings already. So it's just a matter of signing kind of like a normal consent. Some of the other things we need to discuss is how I'm going to work with Barb and Galen, is how you want the meeting schedules to be set. Interestingly, in Clallam County, they have 2 meetings with the commissioners. One meeting is a very open forum with the public where they talk about everything on the consent agenda, and it's a working session with their department heads, but the actual consent agenda only takes about 15 minutes. They do that later in the week, and there is no public input because it was advertised and they had all the time in the first meeting. So the second meeting is just an action meeting. There is no action taken in the first one. Second meeting is when you take your action, and it's very quick and it's done. So we'll have to discuss those things over the next 2 weeks and decide how you want to do that. The other document is just a quick reference, just for in case somebody calls, if somebody just walks in and says, well, wait, what's the quick, communication plan or the decision protocols, so you can just take a quick look at that and see what it is. For me, I'm going to be establishing communication protocols with the BOCC office, working with Barbara and Caitlin on new meeting schedules. I'm targeting the week of October 6th to try and have a new meeting schedule worked out. If it takes more than that, that's okay. We have to have some kind of a line in the sand as to when that's going to change. So this, I believe, will also free up BOCC to have deeper budget meetings if they would like to with department heads, since I'll be doing a lot of the department head meetings. Creating that resolution to provide authority to sign documents. I'm going to suggest that the fund for the county administrator just be left as central services as a standalone budget already. And if January 4th, when I have my review, if it's decided that we want to continue, then we can change the name of the fund. And if not, we can go back to what we were previously doing. Formally turn over BOCC staff to the county administrator, which I believe is going to happen under this. Decide on the new meeting schedule, work with department heads on reporting requirements and expectations, and work with the board on priorities, vision, and current issues. One of the things that we'll have to talk about is how often the board wants to meet with department heads. In Benton County, listed on their site, the frequency with which department heads meet with county commissioners under a county administrator varies. It's typically determined by the policies or rules set forth by the county commissioners themselves. In many counties, the full board of commissioners holds regular weekly or monthly meetings, and department heads may appear before the board as needed based on agenda items or passing issues relevant to their departments. In Yakima County, it's stated that some counties have established regular routines, such as weekly or bi-weekly public meetings, work sessions, or agenda briefings, during which department heads present reports, request approvals, or discuss ongoing projects. Special roundtable meetings specifically designed for the department heads and elected officials may be scheduled several times per year as needed. The county administrator usually manages those meetings and the schedule and determines when the department head's input is required, ensuring that commissioners are kept informed about departmental operations projects. There is no universal rule, and like so many other counties' operating procedures, it's built over time based on an individual county's perceived priorities. So, however the board finds itself comfortable with a meeting schedule. One of the other things that I really like that's been done in a number of counties that have moved to a county administrator is building what they call a county cabinet. A county cabinet is a collection of department heads that, and I haven't even discussed this in detail with you, but I think you'll like it. Where the purpose of a county cabinet is to enhance communication between the county departments, provide a forum to address cross-departmental challenges, coordinate strategies on budgeting, policy, and community services, and ensure transparency and efficiency in governance. The membership of the county cabinet is the county administrator. The 3 county commissioners are part of that cabinet, but only one can be present. You don't want to have a quorum, and you want this to be a free exchange of ideas where it's kind of a safe place for department heads. They can call me names if they want. You know, it doesn't matter, but it's an opportunity for everybody to get together and get anything out on the table. Senior appointed leaders from departments like Public Works, Community Development, Facilities, GCTS, Human Resources, Youth Services, the Fairgrounds Renew, New Hope, Public Defense, the BOCC Office, Veteran Services, and the WSU Extension. There are
Planning. Did you say community
Community
development?
development,
Okay,
yeah,
sorry,
so.
I missed that one.
Elected officials such as the auditor, treasurer, sheriff, prosecuting attorney, and assessor may be allowed to attend in the future. But the point is, this is the legislative body and the direct reports up through you. This is also policy committee. So if I set a schedule, what most other counties do is every 2 weeks, is it's about a 2-hour meeting where every department head gives an update. Every department head gets to hear that. So everybody is on board with the challenges that every department has. We do this in our central services meetings right now, and it's really helped with Public Works and GCTS because there's no surprises. You hear about an issue that Public Works needs help with, the facilities or GCTS can do it, you know, or get the ball rolling on it. This is a way to do that with all the department heads. So there are no shadows. That's the way I like to say it. There are no shadows. But also part of that meeting will be to discuss policy so that nobody can come back later on and 2 things will be accomplished. Number 1, everybody will understand policy, 100% of it. They won't come back and say, well, I don't remember that, or I don't understand that, or can you tell me how to buy this or that?
No one told me.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that. And everybody will have input, so nobody can complain. But that can be, you know, and we can just take chunks of it at a time. So, and I'm doing that every 2 weeks. So as to give every department head plenty of time to do the things they need to do, run their departments, and engage with me when there's things that are outside of their abilities. If they've got personnel actions or a problem that they just can't deal with themselves, they're expected to run their departments. They'll engage with me as needed. Also during those department head meetings every 2 weeks, if there's something, maybe at the fairgrounds, public works, planning, that needs more attention, then I can schedule that time appropriately and have more time with those folks and not take up everybody's time. So it's regular meetings to discuss county operations and initiatives. I'll use that time also to brief on legislative updates and funding opportunities for those departments. We'll have joint problem solving on issues affecting the various departments. And we'll need to do presentations as required to each other or to the board. We'll discuss program successes, upcoming challenges. So on the other parts of the month, I'm going to try and establish a budget and finance team comprising a small group of regular attendees that are critical for budgeting information and input. So that would be the county administrator, a member of public works, a member of central services, a member of the auditor's office, namely accounting, a member of the treasurer's office, the assessor's office, and a member of human resources. So every other week on the off week, we'll also have a meeting with them to specifically discuss budget, the upcoming budget year, challenges, shortfalls, budget extensions, processes, policies. But that will inform up through me where I can inform the board and have regular reporting on how we're doing for revenues, expenditures across the entire county. Upcoming budget extensions, issues the board needs to weigh in on, things like that, where I can do a lot of that grunt work, and you guys can just get briefed on the issue and decide how you want that issue to be dealt with, if that makes sense. Any questions? Any questions from you, Caitlin, so far? You can speak up. Lots to think about.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to think about, and I don't want to make wholesale changes, and change for change's sake is not good change.
Right.
But there are going to have to be some changes as we move to this, and some of that's going to be driven by where the board is comfortable and what and how they want to do and see things, and how you want to be briefed. So I really need to understand your needs and desires, and also start working on a strategic plan, which I've already got an outline for, and that's our long-term goal. So I've already got an entire list of key components on how to work on a strategic plan going forward, so we can kind of go forward as a single county with all of our elected department heads on the same page, and continue some leadership training and building new leaders.
And I don't know what you're calling the group, the peers that you will be meeting
County
with.
cabinet.
Okay, I really like that, because I think there's some things going on that maybe their peers could help them solve, or they're also experiencing it, and we don't have that connection here in this office. We just have not been facilitating that. I think we individually try to do it, and we're bouncing around, and it's.
Well, and a couple of years ago, we tried to establish a regular department head meeting, but as a county administrator, will have the authority to direct that. It's not a voluntary thing anymore. It'll be a requirement. And I think having everybody in the room does a number of things. Everybody understands the challenges everybody's dealing with, but also we do have people that are remote. Dell, as far as anybody knows, is doing a fantastic job over in Renew. Jim is out at the fairgrounds, but they're not in the county every day, and you don't hear the budget impacts or the budget issues. And I think it'll help in the upcoming budget years in 2026, 2027, because everybody will have a better, for lack of a better term, a worldview of the budget. I know that when I talk to Jim out at the fairgrounds, they're good discussions, but I always have to reinforce, I expect that the sheriff's going to have a huge budget ask this year, as they have to come up with their startup costs. Well, it's specifically for the
Yeah,
jail,
no,
right?
I know.
So we may be really light on our capital projects this year, but that's what's affecting it. Well, if you have these regular meetings going through the year, that's not going to be a surprise, and everybody can plan accordingly and hopefully more efficiently, and even provide more transparency. So that's the hope.
I think it'll be good.
Any questions, any concerns?
There'll be lots of questions.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to have a lot of questions as well. It's a lot of stuff to put on paper. It's another thing to completely execute it.
No, but this definitely helps, putting it in paper, and
Well, and just having a quick reference, I will email that document out to all the department heads. Quick reference is just to keep up there and for the clerk of the board in case somebody calls and says, well, what is this? You can just take a quick look and say, it's this. Call
The
Tom
nice
for more
thing is you
information.
have access to all these other counties that you've worked with.
Yeah.
You know, that are doing the same thing, so.
And they've been helpful. They're always open to communicating. I know that last week, Barb and I had an extended lunch with Todd Milkey, the county commissioner the county administrator for Clallam County. He has a wealth of knowledge. He was a 2-term county commissioner in Spokane before he went to run a nonprofit, went and did some other things, and then became the county administrator. County administrator in Franklin County is a former Ferry County commissioner, Brian
And he
Dansel.
is a wealth of knowledge.
So yeah, all of that, yeah, and they're all very welcoming. It's been a great group to be a part of. So I know that I can call them up anytime and say, I have this new wild thing, you know, and they say, no, that happens all the time. So, so it's very helpful.
And Chelan County, they also have a county administrator, so
Yeah,
Kevin Overbay has been super helpful with, you know, when I have a question, he'll say, oh no, like the county administrator handles like the employees reporting in our office and we'll report to you. You will be the report to us
Well,
too. But you're
yeah.
kind of the, I guess, the middle. Because what, I don't think people realize that after we're out of session, we really cannot be talking. So I was part of an email chain and I found I had to say, I cannot respond when you keep sending emails. So, because you're creating a quorum meeting for me. So I think it's just, people don't realize that after our meetings, we can't really, it's very difficult to handle the day-to-day operations of the county when we could be violating our Public Meetings Act.
well, and
Very
a lot of times in hopes of efficiency, I'll send an email to all 3 commissioners with information. And I never
We just
expect,
can't respond.
I never expect a reply, but at least I've planted the seeds that when we have a meeting like this, you're not blindsided for the first time, and then it's another week before we can discuss it. At least, you know, even though you're not talking amongst yourselves, you've at least had time to digest the information so that we can actually have an engaging conversation about it, you know, and then, you know, decide whatever to do, you know, whatever that might be. Do you have any questions? I really appreciate Decora's input through this. She's been very helpful.
You're welcome. I do want to clarify the supervision of the commissioner's office. I'm assuming that it will be transferred to Tom. Is that your plan, Kevin?
That works for me.
Okay.
I mean,
Because I know you're
Well,
kind
that's
of
it.
doing that oversight. Didn't know if you wanted to continue doing that oversight of, or if it would be appropriate to transfer that.
And we can either rip the Band-Aid off and do it right now, or we can do it over, you know, kind of target everything for that week of October 6th so
Sure.
that nobody's blindsided. Some people don't care, they're okay with it. Other people, that kind of change hurts.
I don't think our staff's gonna have a problem with it. I mean,
I think Kirk was originally,
Yeah.
so I think it'll.
And Barb has been very open to this. She's definitely going to be, well, Barb and Caitlin both are going to be incredibly critical to the success of this, as I work with them very closely on meeting schedules, your calendars, my calendar, that kind of thing. So it's going to be really important for everybody to work together really well. So I think Barb enjoyed that lunch with Clallam County, you know, so she had lots of questions. And
yeah, I don't think my staff's gonna have a problem with it anyway. Fine, I'm sure.
okay. Anything else? Any questions?
Not right off the
Is
top of my
Rob
head.
Rob, do you have any questions?
No, not right now.
Okay. That's what I have for this morning. I will continue a little bit. We are finishing commissioning on the HRCS building this week. So we'll have the floodproofing completed and those documents signed. Furniture is still on track for September 29th.
Wow, that's like right around the corner.
It is, so yeah.
It just seemed like it was gonna be forever.
Beginning of October, we'll be looking to move in there, and looking forward to that. But anytime you guys, I don't think you've walked through the building.
Yeah.
But I don't think Cindy and Rob have walked
I
through the
have not.
building yet. So, yeah, when you get
Well,
some
I've
time,
been in the building, but not as,
Right.
since Grant County.
not as the
owned it.
new office, yeah. The jail's going along really well, so I'm working through all of the change order processes We have been reimbursed by the city of Ephrata for $1.4 million. You know, we had two different bills on the water piping that we did and the purple pipe that we did for his reclamation water. One of those was a $700 and some odd thousand bill, and the other was like 754. Those have both been paid. The PUD reimbursed us for the work that we did for them. So even though you see that the GMP changed a little bit because that stuff reflects in the total cost,
Right.
we did have it reimbursed. So we are still doing well. We're still under budget. And we've got change orders to work through, but they're not going to affect us in any great deal. So it's going well.
When's the lighting expected to come out for?
Lighting for the roundabout, the permanent lighting. Last I heard it was late October, and then there was a rumor last week that had been pushed to January. So now one of the things that Arc Electric has said they can do is they'll do the work at night, but they can use a flagger and they can just shut down one side of the roundabout, and they can use flaggers and we shouldn't have to put the detour back up. We'll manage it at the roundabout. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't think there'd be that much traffic at night anyway.
Well, and they're not actually on a roadway. They can be on the side of the road to access those, you know, or if they are on the roadway, they can, you know, they can keep traffic going through one side of it. That's the plan.
Adams County is City of Othello. They're doing a roundabout and they just have a light, you know, both ends, and
Yeah.
you just kind of wait until the light turns and then you get to go. So there's no flagger, but
Well, luckily, we've got a great company in lighting that's managing that, so they've done a great job.
No, it
Arc
works.
Electric's done a great
well,
job.
it's better
Hearst has
than
done it, so.
around, you know, driving around in detours. So that's nice.
Well, I think the roundabout's great too. I think it's already been
And I've
a
been
bonus
on
for
it.
that
It's really
intersection.
nice. Very nice.
So much easier to get in and out of Walmart now.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, no. It's way
We did close the Hall Road that goes out to Dodson. That was one of Kim Foster's requirements. He didn't mind if we used the road, as long as we put the Jersey barriers up when we were done.
Right.
The PUD has his number, so if it opens back up again, it's because of coordination between him and the PUD, not us. So, and we won't be maintaining it. It'll be up to the PUD to maintain. So we're all done with the Hall Road. Taco stand's not back open yet, so don't know when they'll open up. They haven't communicated with us at all. Okay, so
more to come on that, I'm sure.
who knows? Otherwise, it's going well. I've already spoken with Kevin. We're transitioning, you know, where I'm going to stay as the project manager for the jail. Kevin is taking over more and more for the county coroner's office. I'll still be there at a high level, but a lot of that, you know, what I'm doing now for the jail, Kevin will be doing. And we're bringing staff in the facilities department.
I'm gonna touch you. Sorry, you had a spider.
Oh, thanks. Up to,
It's dead. I squished it on my finger. Sorry.
we're gonna provide opportunities for some project management on the smaller projects, and start, you know, getting more people involved in facilities. So I know we have a meeting scheduled with GCTS and the courts on some touch panel stuff for remote court. So Keith is on that. An ongoing discussion with Joe about the management of GCTS. So it's going pretty well.
How's the Wheeler project going? Are they getting any closer?
I believe that Kevin had the contract signed, and the architect is now doing the structural research on and the drawings.
And then the parking lot, is that, the city's all good with that?
So the city was good with that. They backed off almost everything, except the storm swale. We're still gonna do that. We were waiting on the engineering to get back so that, and I don't even think we're gonna go out to bid. I think, Eastside Asphalt was just gonna take care of that, you know, and we'll do a change order to their contract, and build that swale. But we have to have it properly engineered. So they're doing that right now, so. Yeah, I'll get a further update
Will
on
that
that.
get done this fall then, do you think?
It should. Yeah, it needs to be done this fall. Yeah, we don't want
I was hoping so.
to, yeah.
Good.
I'll follow up on that.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
I will have Tom's PAR available for signature tomorrow, and the date of the PAR would be, let's see that calendar, the 14th. It would be this pay cycle.
Okay.
Is the board okay with that? Okay. Or, because if not, then we wait till the following pay cycle.
So we're not
14th is good.
serious retro. Okay, no, I'm good with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob, do you have anything? Okay, well, it's I don't hear anything. It's 8:55. We are in recess until 9 o'clock and we meet with development services.
Good morning, it's 9 a.m. and we're here for a development services update with Jim Anderson Cook.
Good morning, happy fall. So wanted to start off by thanking Commissioner Burgess for attending last week's Build Ready meeting. We had Conservation Northwest in the office along with Grant PUD, some members from Colville and Fish and Wildlife, obviously our office, and in having a discussion about the concept of trying to come up with parcel areas in the county that could potentially be build ready for solar. I think it was productive, but most importantly, I think it demonstrated just a positive relationships and partnerships. So I think it went a long way, specifically pointing out the relationship that has been built between Grant County and Colville and Fish and Wildlife. So I really wanted to thank you for attending and
Yeah, no, it was great.
and highlighting that. So don't know where the build ready concept is going to go. I think that all of the identified parcel areas in the county have probably been gobbled up already, but nonetheless, I just appreciate you being there. So really the only thing that I have today is on the agenda for tomorrow on consent is an extension to ordinance 25032 CC, which is a moratorium for wind development in Grant County. So I'm asking that the board extend that for an additional 6 months while we continue to work on ordinances to identify whether or not we would like to allow for wind in the county, and if so, where we would like that to be. So I don't know if there's any discussion, if we want to let that lapse, or if we agree to push that forward until such time that we can continue to establish or discuss where we would like that to take place. So
I'm okay with extending, and I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done on that.
Yeah.
before we-
yeah, so we're planning on having, so right now, obviously, we're in our comprehensive plan amendment process and cycle. So I'm proposing that we have workshops with the Planning Commission on January the 7th and again on February the 4th in 2026, so that we can really start having those discussions. And we have a public hearing or a public hearing scheduled for October the 7th to extend. So if there's no questions on that, then that's the only topic that I have. We do have, just as a reminder, we do have a public hearing tomorrow on the developer agreement for Quincy, so Quincy Valley Solar. So excited to get that one behind us. Good morning. Good morning. So I was just discussing with the board, tomorrow on consent, we have a request to extend ordinance number 25032CC, which is a moratorium on wind. I'm asking that we extend that for an additional 6 months while we continue to work on development regulations to either allow or not allow for wind development in Grant County. So, and then we do have planning commission meetings scheduled for January and February of next year.
The gentleman whose email I shared with you from Loudoun County, Virginia, he set up a meeting with me in about 2 weeks. Would you like to attend that?
Yeah. And I've shared that white paper with a developer from Quincy Valley Solar who happens to reside in Loudoun County, Virginia, and took interest in that and can commiserate with what they're going through. So, yeah, I was asking him, so in reading that paper, he cites that solar is only 33% efficient. And I was asking this person if that, is accurate. And, obviously it's on a project by project basis. And I was interested in that because I want to know, in Grant County, after this project is done, would they be willing to share their efficiency ratings? And without, sharing proprietary information, he had indicated that they likely would after a year of operation. So I was just kind of curious.
Backstory on this conversation. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was in the NACO Telecommunications and Technology Policy Committee meeting. And this gentleman from Loudoun County, Virginia, was asking about anybody that had PUDs with power capacity issues. And I'm sorry, I was in the Veterans and Military Services Committee, and its effect on veterans in the community. And I emailed him back and said, well, if you could fix power issues for the veterans, you'd be fixing it for a much wider audience than just veterans. And then he emailed me this white paper on the stuff that he's doing. And it's all being caused by data centers, of which Loudoun County, Virginia is the world's capital for data centers, and 600 and some odd data centers. I thought I was going to give him a run for his money, When I saw that number, I was amazed. But he knows what Quincy, Washington is, and so he's very interested in sharing the issues they're having with power and how data centers have impacted that. I thought it would be kind of it was an interesting paper. I shared it with Jim. And I was like, we might get something out of this. So.
And in that paper, so interestingly, in the discussions that were being had on Wednesday, Commissioner Burgess was part of a Build Ready meeting that was hosted. Well, I hosted the meeting in our conference room, but it was held by Conservation Northwest. And there was a number of people in the room, Susan Manville being one of them from the PUD. A question was asked about, so it had transitioned into transmission, and somebody had asked the question about taking transmission below ground. And obviously in that paper, he speaks to taking the challenges of taking transmission below ground because of the different type of conductoring and the cost to do that. So I thought it was interesting that they had said that they could when it is obviously not the case. So, but in any event, so what's also interesting in that paper is a lot of discussion around microgrids, and my office is receiving more and more interest in calls in creating microgrids, which is basically bypassing to a certain extent, not necessarily bypassing, but creating transmission from these solar generating facilities to load. So going from solar direct to load by either, transmission from solar to a battery storage facility and then to data on site, or solar, battery, and then transmission to a substation on site. So, yeah, it's going to be.
I'd be interested to know those battery storage facilities, just how large they are with the power that they were talking about.
Yeah, and they're usually like for like. So if the nameplate on the generation facility is, let's say, 80 megawatts, then battery storage is usually 80. I was also very surprised to learn in the meeting that Commissioner Burgess and I were at that that PUD doesn't have policy to allow for battery storage at this point in time. I asked Susan Manville how many applications they were receiving for battery storage, and they have received interest, but they currently Grant PUD policy doesn't allow for generation to battery storage. So, but.
It's funny because I was at my EDC meeting last week, and there was a gentleman that was there in that meeting that had been to London for a conference, and he said that a lot of people knew where Quincy, Washington was, and Grant County
Really?
from other parts of the world. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Because of the data, or just
Data centers and just in general, I assume, because of our power generation from hydro dams and things like that.
Yeah.
And our airport. So
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So assuming tomorrow goes as planned and as I expect, Quincy Valley Solar break ground is November 7th. So we should start seeing panels as early as December. So it'll be a change to the landscape. Okay, well, outside of that, I don't have anything else, so. Any
Thank you,
questions?
Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll go into recess until 9:30 when we're back for our commissioner office update. Waiting for Barb. Good morning, it's 9:31 a.m. and we are here for a weekly commissioner's office update. Welcome, Caitlin.
Hello. Barb is out sick today, so it's just little old me here. We emailed you the pending decision spreadsheet last week for your guys' work session this afternoon. For public hearings, Jim already talked a little bit about the developer agreement. You have a hearing for that tomorrow from 3:30 to 4:30. And from 2:30 to 3:30, you have the continued public hearing regarding the ordinance amending Chapter 11.04 of the Grant County Code for the speed limits.
So on that hearing, we'd already closed the public comment. Do we need to open it again, or it's closed? So we just need to make our decision. Public comment portion of that hearing was closed during that hearing. I just don't want to open for public comment when it was already closed.
I think we were seeking additional information.
Yeah,
and
so we
that's
already
why it was
closed the
open.
comment,
I agree with you.
so it's just to make the decision, which is just on the speed
So, and
limits.
it's an hour long, so unless Public Works is gonna supply more information,
It should be short.
it shouldn't be that long.
Did you have any questions about any of the meetings that are scheduled this week?
No, I just need to remember that Monday I'm in Seattle.
Next Monday?
Yeah, for the housing conference.
That's Monday, Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's riveting.
Will you be online for the
I don't
commissioners?
know. I'll try to be on Tuesday's meeting for sure. If I have any breaks, I will be. I think it's a good thing to go to. You kind of have an idea what's coming. I mean, you're in literally the breeding grounds of what's coming. You are. I mean, they've got their politicians up there telling you what they're trying to get through, and you're just like, what? It's a great idea.
You can bring back the good news to us.
Jim's going also, right? Jim Anderson said. I think he's going.
maybe.
I asked, after I went last year, I asked him to go this year. Because it's, like I said, you're seeing what's coming before it's coming.
Right.
Because they're so excited to sit on stage and tell you how they're gonna take your money and give it to others.
I have not received any new pressing calendar invitations for the commissioners. I did want to go over a couple of the items on consent this week. You do have the request to purchase the Grant County excess liability insurance through Acrisure. $493,332, not including taxes and fees. I did talk to Mandy about the payment of this invoice. It'll come from Fund 503, insurance premium. She has said that she does not feel that a budget extension needs to be done prior to the payment of this invoice, and that she'll include it in the end of the year budget extension in December. So that will be paid upon the commissioner's approval. You also have the real estate tax affidavit, disclosure to purchaser and quit claim deed acceptance letter to the Department of Natural Resources for the Moses Lake Sand Dunes transfer.
I'm gonna jump
Yes.
back to number 3, number
Yes.
4. I don't know the current expense needs to be the sole account that pays for that. I think Renew should be a part of it in Public Works, because Public Works is part of the reason why our insurance is.
Are you wanting our office to split that invoice, or do you want it to be
Well, I'm
billed?
gonna ask, this is a
out?
question, I don't know, discussion, I guess, with the commissioners. Because typically, current expense should not be held responsible for the whole amount when we are.
The amount of the insurance increase?
Yeah.
Sorry,
if we do
no,
the
it should be
insurance,
broken up
because
between
it should-
everyone.
Renew will have
Yeah, it
a
should be
part of
spread
it.
out Between everybody.
More than likely, that lawsuit will come through Public Works, Renew, or the sheriff's office, so.
So I think we should visit with them on what portion they would like to. Well, Mandy might be able to look at their budget and figure out what, I don't know what the,
Out of curiosity, excess liability, this excess liability insurance is gonna cover every department in the county?
Office and department, yeah.
So I would think that it's spread out equally.
And
among-
she had responded, I thought she had responded in an email I saw this morning about like 150,000 being current expense and the others being broken out to others, but she hadn't gotten that far yet.
See, and I thought she was saying that 150,000 was, that fund was already
Is that what it was?
under budgeted by 150,000.
I gotta find
but
it.
yeah, I think the others, Public Works and Renew, but we need to communicate with them. Because they are some of the users for our insurance. That is the reason we were getting it.
Yeah, we don't want to blindside them by taking.
But I think, I mean, hopefully they can participate in that.
Then when it comes to reaching out, like sending invoices or whatever to the other offices.
Well,
and
no, we're not
departments,
gonna, we probably should, I'll put it on my little note to, so they're not blindsided, we need to visit with them and let them know.
Meet with them this week?
Yeah,
Should we hold that for a week then?
I know he wanted to get it on as soon as possible, but I think if we're gonna be adding a bill to a significant invoice to somebody's account, I think we need to. But we can meet with Public Works tomorrow, Renew, we meet with today, so I think we can visit with them. We will visit with them. I don't know what the breakdown will be. If it's a third.
Typically with the insurance ones, if it's broken out between the offices and departments, accounting entirely handles that.
Okay,
So if you are wanting it to be split that way, then it would not be part of the BOCC's batch. We would just send that invoice up to accounting, and accounting would be responsible for paying the invoice and charging the departments and offices accordingly.
It would be nice to know the breakdown before we do approve it. That might be wise.
Discuss it with Mandy.
I think we should hold it for a week and
okay.
get those questions answered before we. Because I mean, I wouldn't want a $150,000 bill just.
Let me just email Mandy, because I know they were trying to push for that to get, but it could be October, November. Okay, sorry, Caitlin, I just
Nope,
wanted to
that's
make sure
okay.
that was covered, so we didn't.
If
Yes, no,
she-
I understand.
If she can contact them today and get it straightened out, then we could potentially sign it tomorrow, but.
Yeah, well, we'll have,
I don't know that they need to straighten anything out. We just need to decide if that's the direction we're gonna give Mandy to charge other departments.
I think so. I think they should be.
Because they wouldn't break it out into
but
separate
again, our
invoices.
communication, we need to communicate with those offices that are impacted. We have not. So maybe wait in a week. Let's figure out what we can do between today and tomorrow.
I'll go and talk to Mandy about that a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a simple yes or no, then we-
Oh, perfect.
And then there's also a professional services agreement with J-Ray Ads and PR for the development and the design of the tourism travel planner. It's not to exceed $7,000, so that contract was not reviewed by legal since it's under that dollar amount. It was reviewed by Blair, and he did not have any concerns about it. So that is on consent for you guys to look at. And then the Grant County Animal Outreach ARPA request is also on consent for you guys to consider.
So I'm a little vague on that one. So we didn't approve it, but yet we're just gonna approving it to send them a check. I probably read more into it than I needed to.
I mean, apparently there's some concern that those funds are not available because of what happened last year. So if she's done her homework and it's still available, I wouldn't see a problem with it.
I don't how I remember it was approved to go to them like all the others. Then the county decided we would take over the building of the project, so we brought the money back in because we want it in our fund then. And then the decision was that they were going forward, but we could still spend it out of our fund in order for them to finish the project. That's how I remember it.
I remember it a little bit differently, but I wasn't in every meeting. I remember, well, it was muddy how the whole thing just kind of came to an end. And I thought,
Well, I think it got muddy at the end because Danny was just trying to like put it somewhere before he was gone.
did the city of Moses Lake claw back the funds they gave?
No.
No, they didn't.
They're still.
Yeah, the plan, in my opinion, the whole time has been we're doing it. I've never felt like we weren't. It was whether or not we were managing it.
Are they building a new outreach place?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just waiting for permits right now. They're in the city. Oh. There's an issue with it. The city manager is working on that because that piece of property is in a zone that's not allowed to have that building put on it. And so they're trying to work around it. That was the last I heard at that EDC meeting, but he was working on it and Sarah was like blindsided. And he had just found out about it that morning. So they're trying to figure out a workaround.
Which is weird. Zoning use allowances, they can just.
I thought they
Odd.
Well, the thing of it is, Vivian sat on it for a month
Yeah, well,
and didn't get back to anybody. Then all of a sudden this came up and so she just told Sarah that it's gonna be a bit because of this issue.
This was the original property they owned, right, that they weren't using because they thought they had a native species on there, but it turned out.
no, it was location.
Oh, it was location.
Yeah, it's
Which is
out there.
crazy. It was donated to them, so why wouldn't they use it? Just basically right across the street to the north of them.
I guess I would circle back then if there are any meeting notes regarding the
Carrie,
stopping of those funds.
well, I just want to make sure we're,
Yeah, I think Carrie was checking into it.
Carrie's online.
She was earlier. Yeah, it shows her on.
So maybe we should ask her if that's.
Carrie,
She's He's not moved yet, hold on.
Oh.
know
I
you
can
do
run
this.
upstairs. I'll just ask him when we can.
He accepted. so-
Okay.
Good morning.
Laura Carey. So number 8, the 998,000, how did that get resolved to move over? Did you found it?
Well, last week you asked me if it was on the final obligated report to Treasury, which it was. And it was under the lost revenue. So we are good to go with sending the funding to them. Even though it was rescinded, it was still under our lost revenue. So the county was still had obligated it because we were still going to forward that funding to Grant County Animal Outreach.
And have they provided have they spent the 998,000?
No.
No, there has been no funding sent to them.
We're just approving, okay, we're not sending it to them, we're just approving that they will get it.
Yes, because there wasn't a clear answer the last time we discussed this. And so I just put it forward for consent today to bring it back up and see if this is how we wanted to move forward with it. Because it was obligated for them under the lost revenue.
Okay, so we probably should approve to allocate funds instead of request to pay, because when I'm looking at this, it looks like we're gonna issue them a check. Okay, approve.
Hey, Sherry, where did the language come from that we were rescinding it?
The consent agenda from June of 2024.
And
We
it was,
approved it, and then during the discussion after the meeting, there was a motion. Rob and Danny rescinded it, the decision that was made.
Rescinded based on the county moving forward managing the project.
right.
Because if we would have allocated it to them, then we took it over, we would have not be able to have done that. So that was the whole point of it. I don't think we even need to approve this one. I think it already is. It's obligated to the facility.
I would agree.
So I wouldn't do this. I would let them make their requests the same as turn in your engineering invoice, turn in your this.
And
then that, if they only spend 600, we're still able to use it.
And I would agree that there was some nuance in that language, rescinded, because we weren't rescinding the funding. It was only because of process. So the funding was never actually rescinded for the entity. So it was just the process by which it was going to get spent. So I think we just need to document that.
Well, but I think we could approve to allocate the funding just so it's clear.
I feel like it is.
Okay, you feel like it's
Yeah,
very
I
clear?
think that's,
Yeah.
it already is obligated in the final, what they
Okay.
turned in, so.
I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that we had it obligated.
Well, and it is allocated to Grant County Animal Outreach on the Treasury's 2024 final report and on that spreadsheet that Danny had was keeping track of all of the obligations on.
Okay, so you feel like we do not need this?
I mean, as long as everybody remembers, it's sitting here. that-
I just feel like we
And I
probably
think we
should
just
just
need to
memorialize
document
it
it,
so
put it in
that
the file.
it's, I think it's, we just approve to.
See, but that's what I just am confused on because we already done that. Like it's already obligated, which means it's already
Okay.
for them. So I don't like approving to do it again. It's almost like just remind ourselves that this is
Yeah.
for them. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
again, I think
sense.
it goes back to the way that the rescinded language was used. So I would agree with Commissioner Jones that it doesn't have to be.
Okay, so we'll remove number 8,
But not because we didn't approve it,
Right.
because it was approved
because it
earlier.
already is.
Thank you, Carrie, for joining us.
Yes.
And it was June 14th? What was the date?
For
On here. June 4th.
2024.
Okay. All right, Caitlin.
No, you're all right. The last little bit was the BOCC budget. So the interim county administrator wages, I guess was already answered previously, having that stay in the central services budget. Is that correct?
Correct.
Reminder that you have a Tyler Tech budget module training on October 13th. Mandy will be going over with you guys how you'll be accessing the budget reports for the meetings in November.
Oh, it's Columbus Day. Do we have work on Columbus Day?
I think so.
It just popped up as a holiday. Okay. I don't know our holidays.
We
but-
used to not, I don't think,
I can double check.
back
Just
in
making
the
sure.
day.
I emailed you printed it already. I emailed you guys this last week. This is the draft budget meeting schedule.
I'll give this to Tom.
Oh, he has a copy.
I have a copy. You got it. Okay.
You just have
October
two.
14th, you said?
October
It's
13th. It's a
Columbus-
Monday.
It's Columbus Day. It's not the post office is closed, but we're not.
Okay,
When I
thanks
was
for
in
checking.
elementary,
Sometimes
we
I
used to be
just
off that day.
never know. Still gathering up all our holidays, what works, what's not.
So we've been working with Mandy and Michelle to create this meeting schedule. The one that I wanted to double check on, we've kind of been hearing passing mentions of Blair getting his own budget for risk management, where his wages and training and office supplies and all that would be. We have not received official confirmation from anybody that that's actually happening. So I was gonna ask the commissioners if you guys knew of this, if that is something that needs to be.
We're gonna put him in central service. I'm
Happening?
kidding.
Honestly, that's probably where you should go.
That's probably where it should go, yeah, is in the central
I mean,
service.
centralized services that apply to everyone.
Yeah, because he's working with everybody.
That's probably where it should go.
I believe that Mandy is under the impression, and Blair is under the impression that he will be getting his own. So that
He'll get
may,
his own lines. Not his own department.
You'd have to do a resolution creating that fund.
yes, and we have not received anything from accounting, and
Okay.
Mandy seems to think that that would be initiated out of our office, which I have,
It would be just, it would be the same as when we created central services and we had to form that through a resolution of the board. But I don't know that we're creating a risk management department. We've just created the risk management position.
yes, and I think that is where the confusion is.
Yeah.
We have not been told from, I think in the past when we got the new funds, like it was confirmed by the commissioners, but then accounting gave us the information for it, and then we drafted the resolution with that information, like where the funds would be coming from, what the fund account name is, the numbers, all of that. And so we have not heard anything from accounting. We had not heard anything from the commissioners. So we were just, I put a time on there for him for a budget, which I mean, if he's gonna be part of central services, then that, we can just move it to be part of the central services time.
Okay.
I would do that as for budgeting and timing purposes, just move it into there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'll do some checking on
Do
where
you want
that,
me to just send an email out to Blair, Tom, Caitlin, Mandy, that insurance or,
risk management,
pardon me,
risk management?
risk management will be under central services?
Well, before you do that, just right now, let's just get the timing of the budget meeting
Okay.
set. And then let me do some checking and see
Okay,
if
so
I
I will
can
not,
have a good
okay.
idea by the end of the day or tomorrow.
Right now
So-
he's under HR.
Yeah. Which would also work, but
or even in our office.
He just
also.
doesn't have his own like section in HR. So I
yeah,
mean, you could just split it like how public records and grants and stuff is, but we're just hearing things from multiple people without any,
Yeah.
confirmation,
Let me
so.
dig into it a little bit and then I'll get back with you.
okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think it
I'm
was
just
under
gonna-
HR is because she was kind of the supervisor of. And now that we have county administrator.
It can fit in, yeah, numerous places, so. I don't know that it needs to be its own separate.
So then, there is also a highlighted section on Tuesday, the 4th, expected new fund for the morgue bond 200 level. That is the information that I received from Mandy for that. And then there are also two funds that have different names but are the same fund number. Those are also highlighted. I'm waiting for a response from Mandy about that. She's looking into it. But
What
if
is it?
so on the STAR reports, it's listed as dedicated drug court, fund number 123-001. But then it's also listed in the auditor's office budgets as ERP. So I'd asked Mandy about it because they pointed out that the same number was used. And so I'd asked her because I found this one on the STAR reports online. So she's looking
Is one
into
under
that.
current expense and one's under, I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think dedicated drug court is a district court fund, I believe. So she's just gonna look into it and get back to us on that. But this schedule goes around, the times that the commissioners are available. There's the lead summit on one day. There's the CBDL conference on one of the other days. But if this looks good to you guys, then we can start sending out calendar appointments to people.
And if okay with the board, my plan for the transition was to sit in every one of these budget meetings. It's kind of twofold. One is a lot of these budgets I've never had to even think about. So it's a learning process for me, but also as we go through that, to be able to discuss things like with the treasurer, the assessor, accounting, and the board as to how we'll move into 2026, how we'll report, and how we'll do budget meetings the next year. So that we have kind of a transition for the budget itself, separate from county administrator. Does that make sense?
I don't know, it's gonna be fun, because I've never been in them either.
You'll love it, Kevin.
That's what they keep telling me.
The only other thing I had on the agenda was the travel and training budget that we'd sent to you guys on Friday for the BOCC staff, not including vet services. I wanted to say that with mine, I know that it's a big ask, but the Laserfish certifications will not be the full $2,000. We get discount codes from our CDI representative. I don't know if it's like totally free or if it's just really discounted. I was planning on reaching out to the CDI consultant when I was ready to take those courses, and they're not required. I just feel that since we're getting ready to switch over to a fully automated consent agenda, they would be good courses for me to take. So that would not be the full 2,000. And then the NACO leadership was also just an ask
And
to
I
see
did,
if
I
that's
will
something
say, I
I
did
could.
call Caitlin, I'm
go,
like, we're
yeah.
probably not gonna allow a $9,000 clerk budget when the
That's a lot.
commissioners have
It was a
$12,000
big
to
list.
spend.
It was
the
a big
next three
list.
of us. Yeah.
I figured that the worst you guys could do was say no, so, and that's fine. No is fine. The rest of it are the CMC courses. There's also a silly little fee to actually apply to get the CMC, even though you're paying a butt ton of money for the trainings. You have to do like a little $50 thing when you turn in all of your stuff to get the designation. So that won't be until the end of next year, but that's included in that.
So I would probably,
training.
just so our budget doesn't look so, I would
Yes.
probably remove the NACO
Yes.
off of that if you have not, because that would be definitely, if
Moving.
commissioners cannot go.
And which NACO, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Which NACO leadership was that? Because
It was the one that you and the TS guys went to, the leadership in tech,
oh, so that was their annual conference,
that one.
just the
you
annual
go.
conference, yeah. So
I just pulled the numbers from your guys' out-of-state
So-
travel request
so we
forms
would-
and then,
we went to that specifically because it was so IT heavy. It wasn't necessarily something a lot of people would go to.
Sure.
So,
and that is okay. If you take out NACO and the Laserfish certifications, that puts me at $3,000.
So, but the laser, can you do that online or is that in?
It
Las
is
Vegas?
online.
Okay.
It's
But I
it's
think
just
it's
a
important.
big,
I think to me, I think that is an important one because that is something you're actually, will impact you.
yes, but again, that one, we get the discount codes for it. I just don't know how
Okay.
much is discounted. So I
Well,
put the
work with
full
Tom. Tom can
list
always
price.
get it Next to
Yes.
nothing. Tom, can you work your sweet magic once again and get it for free? Because I know we paid for it and then.
how many more courses do you have to do to get, I would call it C qualified, your clerk of the board designation fully qualified?
Quite a few. It won't be until December of next year before I can actually get it. Because I'm about halfway through for education points with the professional development online. The high performance leadership course will get me past that,
That
but
is
then.
really good that you can use
That's really
that.
cool,
for-
Yeah.
But then I have to have 2 years of experience. And so June gets me 2 years as the deputy clerk, but then December is the 2 years of me being part of the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And I have to have that 2 years of being an IAMC member before I can actually submit all my stuff. But December is that 2 years. So,
So I'd like to see all of that stuff prioritized.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, it
the
is.
Collateral trainings, you know, obviously if they're critical and important to the role, which like the Laserfish could be, but prioritizing those things that get you fully qualified.
Yep.
in your position, so, first.
sir.
That's my-
Yes, that's all the other, the Laserfish conference is one of those ones that I'd left on there. The Laserfish online certification is the 2,000 that I had removed. But everything else on there is for the CMC. And that's it.
I'm just making sure we have WSU on our budget,
Yes, WSU
Yep,
Extension Office,
2 o'clock to 30.
yes.
I think we forgot the 1 year.
And Noxious Weed Control Board is on Monday, the 10th. If I can bring this back up next week, when you guys have had a little more time to look at it, and then that'll give accounting a little bit more time to get back to us about those strange numbered funds. That's it.
All right, thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you, Caitlin.
It is 10 a.m. and we have an accounting update.
I thought we had youth services.
At 10:15.
Okay. Still getting used to the calendar.
Mandy had sent an email, she needs to cancel.
Yeah, just FYI, while we're talking about it, I'm looking at, I just did the government reimbursement for 2025. Business use, 70 cents per mile. Government travel, $1.75 for the use of privately owned vehicles,
Say that again?
$1.75 for the use of a privately owned vehicle. That's a government travel rate for 2025. Business 70 cents.
How does that account for somebody using a private vehicle that has an accident?
Your private vehicle gets to pay for it.
We have a motor pool and county insurance.
But our motor pool is like $1.25 or something, so it actually saves us money if you use your personal vehicle. I think the county could probably, the county risk,
That would be a good
WCRG.
risk discussion, because I would think that if somebody was using their personal vehicle and was seriously injured or damaged county property, it was, you know, the contents of their vehicle, they've got a case against the county, liability case.
well, I was just pulling this up, and I thought it was a little,
That's quite a bit.
$1.75.
That's surprising.
Well, our county vehicle has not been very reliable, so
Which county vehicle?
we got rid of it. But we do, okay, Tom, we do need to get a meeting with all the vehicles, so we need to have a budget item probably for this, for the vehicles, if we do decide to do like a county pool, a current expense county pool, because we have so many vehicles that are just sitting there that they're getting less than 10,000 miles on, that we could coordinate all those vehicles that we are literally sitting in the parking lot.
I think ER&R needs to be a focused topic with Public Works budget this year, because so many people are talking about leaving it with the changes that they made.
Yeah, but if we, and we did talk to them about coordinating, like having a pool of vehicles, we had two, the van and a little Ford something or other that broke down frequently, or did break down once, I don't know, wasn't very reliable. But if we could coordinate, then we have a lot of vehicles that are, get less than 10,000 miles on them.
And just so you know, if you do have an iPhone and you upgrade to iOS 26 like I did, it completely changes the way your voicemails are. Which is why I was calling Cindy on Friday saying, what do you mean you need a van? It took a voicemail that didn't have a date on it from last year and put it at the very top.
Like, I do not need a van, but if you're
It
giving
seemed
one
like I had a
away.
missed call, and I was like, oh, I got a missed call. Cindy needs a van on Monday. No, it's not.
I was taken aback.
On software.
Anyway, that is something we need to address.
Today we are canceling accounting, we're canceling PMR
And the assessor's office.
and assessor's office.
Looks that way.
Okay,
How often does that happen?
not that often.
Not three anyway, at least.
But it does happen. Usually happens on a 3-day weekend. We find we have a lot of cancellations on Tuesday. Probably happens more in a 3-day weekend.
So,
Do you want to go into recess?
We will go into recess till 10:15 when we're back with Scott from Youth Services. Good morning, it's 10:15 a.m. and we are here for a Youth Services update with Scott from Youth Services.
Welcome, Scott.
Good morning. We currently have 8 youth in custody at Chelan County. We will be kind of a busy court day today, but we will resolve 2 of those in custody youth will be released. However, we do have the potential for 3 new intakes from court today, so may get a few that finish up and go, but we may get some new ones in, so. That's all I really had today of where things are at, unless you have questions.
how's everything else going up there at Youth Services?
You know, it's going good, just busy. Feels like, I don't feel like the weekend was here, so feels
Oh,
like,
no.
we're back already. So it's been pretty busy, but things have been going good from my point of view.
So we've got 8, so we may have 6 or we may have 9.
Yeah, we may
At
end
the
up
end
with
of the day.
9 after today's from court.
What are the charges?
The 3 that we may get in are probation violations, so
Okay.
they're youth that have, are in violation of the rules of supervision. So more or less
You
short,
say maybe 3 more?
perhaps. So,
Maybe you're trading 2 for 3.
yeah, so I was excited and I
And you
remembered
weren't, okay.
that I wasn't, so.
Will you be able to do, if the 3 all are intakes today, they'll all transport over together?
Yes. Yep, I have that all arranged and smooth operation, so it's been great. So,
8 kids up at Chelan County, is that kind of an average number? Does it really vary a lot through years? Do you have kind of an average?
Seems like it's been.
Usually at 4.
I mean, I think our average has been roughly 4 to 5, but
Yeah, but we've had an older one that transitioned out and we have another one that should be transitioning out.
that could be.
They've been in there for a long time.
Yeah, we unfortunately have a lot of youth that are, been with us for a long time, or
Family members.
potentially will be with us for a long time, so, because of their cases, so.
I was just curious.
But we do have the highest rate. Grant County does. And you mentioned,
In Chelan, with the counties that are taking part in Chelan.
I think we were getting a little high up in Martin Hall too.
Yeah.
I think we averaged when we started about between 4 and 5, we thought we'd have maybe 3 or 4. 4 was our average, but we had 2 that were in long term.
Yep.
And then 1 aged out, and we still have, so it's, I don't know, we have some youth that have had some very,
Serious charges.
you
Out
know,
of curiosity, do you track numbers of other counties to see where we compare?
I do not. I don't know if Swahil does,
well,
really.
you know, sometimes we'll get they'll tell us how many counties, like Martin Hall used to have,
Mhm.
you know, the different counties. I do believe we can get the report. We've seen it.
Okay.
Where, I don't know how often we see it, but when she does report.
So
We're the overachiever here,
yeah, we're keeping.
but we
track.
also have some shooters and,
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
like you said, serious crimes that happen in Grant County.
So that's all I have.
That's it for you?
All right.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Scott.
We will go into recess until 10:30 when we're back for a renew update. Good morning, it's 10:30 a.m. and we are here for a renew update with Del Anderson.
Good morning. How are you?
Good,
Great.
Del.
Morning, Del.
Morning, Tom.
Morning.
How's it going? I shot you an email. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's going great.
That's awesome. Looking forward to working with you more often.
You too.
I have a couple of agenda items this morning. The first is this came from the Healthcare Authority and Milliman, which is the consulting firm the Healthcare Authority uses to set rates for Medicaid and our Apple Health system. And during this meeting, they were announcing some of the increases some of the regions would receive in rates in FY26 and some decreases that some regions would experience. We're in a 4-county region, North Central Washington, and so that's Okanagan, Chelan, Douglas, and Grant County. And the expected decrease that we would see or reduction in rates for Medicaid, they said potentially could be 8% beginning January 1st. And so if you go back in time, we've had over the last 3 years about 22% rate increases for Medicaid. So this year, as anticipated, there would be some reduction. And so I'll be able to get numbers together and let you know what that total impact would be. I just think from an expense perspective, we're going to want to watch our expenses more closely in 26. I'm not seeing typically an issue currently with the staffing situation or restructuring types of things, but we are going to want to keep a better eye on what our expenses look like for 26 as we're building this budget. Even though it's not a guarantee of 8%, I think as we're going through the budget process, we're going to go ahead and just build that in because we don't know where the state will land on it currently. So just want to give you a heads up and see if you had any questions about that. And some of this pertains back to the big beautiful bill that was passed and the reductions that would be, that, again, we'd anticipated that would occur over the next 10 years. So the next item I have for you is an update on the Quincy remodel. We have sent the contract for the remodel to legal. That's been reviewed. It'll be on consent. I believe that's tomorrow. And we'd budgeted our capital budget $250,000 for this project. And the total cost of project from the quote through the bids was $213,914.72, so well under what was budgeted. The purpose of that project is to externally do new siding, and the windows on the exterior, they're really skinny, small windows. So we're going to open those windows up so that all the therapy rooms have some natural light coming in that will be it will improve the aesthetic of the building. Internally, we have a back door that is it's a metal door there's no light that comes down the hallway. And so we're changing that out for like a storefront type of door and improving the lighting throughout the office there. So that's a part of the project, fresh paint. And then the break room will be new flooring, cabinets, those types of things. So really it's a complete remodel of the building, which will enhance the features of it as well as give a good work environment for the staff that work there. Just thought it was a great opportunity to go through this project and also fall under the budget that we had set aside for that. Any questions regarding that?
When did they plan on starting?
We don't have a start date yet. This is coming through the signature phase. So once they do have a start date, I believe it'll take 6 to 8 weeks to complete.
Janelle, this is the remodel on your existing facility, right? This isn't the
Yes.
tenant improvements that are happening. Did the Moberg consultant or the Moberg contractor get back to you with the IT costs for all that data cabling?
No, not yet. We sent that to them last week and we haven't received that yet. Yeah, but yeah, this for the Quincy remodel, this is our existing building that we have there in Quincy.
Out of curiosity, when did you send that contract to legal for review?
It's been a couple of weeks. Yeah, I think it's about a 3-week wait going back and forth between contracts.
So you didn't receive the email saying that you would have to wait until after September 29th for review?
Well, we received an email that asked us to prioritize what we needed before I think the end of September and what could wait until later. And so we replied to that.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. I also wanted to update you on expanded positions that we had created with our crisis team, which these have all come through position management. But what I wanted to update you on is that the staff filling these positions are current staff that we've had. And so these have been created some growth opportunities for our staff. So I want to thank you for approving these. We've gone through this process. It's been great to see our administrative support specialists who are basically receptionists now moving on into peer counseling positions and giving them the opportunity to grow. Our peers that are in the crisis team, they have applied for, accepted the crisis intervention specialist position. So they've been working on like their bachelor's degrees while they've been working. And I've just been grateful to offer these opportunities and see this kind of growth within the department. So they've been able to move. And then crisis intervention specialists that have been working on their master's degrees are now able to take on these designated crisis responder positions. So it's been neat and to kind of grow our own and see this internal movement that people have been able to move into these new positions that have been created. So I think that's just been a wonderful opportunity for the department to start to see some of that. So I appreciate, I know it's been a lot of work on both our end and the commissioner end to review and go through position management, but we've appreciated that, and it's given these opportunities for some staff to experience some growth that they haven't had. And then the last item I have for you is just a review of what's on consent tomorrow. The first is an agreement between Grant County doing business as Renew and Base Crew LLC. This is for the Grand Coulee asphalt maintenance project. The total cost of that project was $31,436, and that is within what we had budgeted for our capital expense for that. The next one I'd already discussed was the Quincy remodel, and then the next one is the agreement between Grant County, DBA Renew, and Guardian Roofing and Exteriors. This is for the Moses Lake site roof replacement. We'd only budgeted $100,000 for that because we had no idea and we're just trying to set something to hold in the budget. And this one we discussed in a previous meeting, but the total cost of that came out to $243,148.50. That was above the line item budget, but is not above our capital budget total expense. So I just wanted to let you know that's coming through as well for signature during consent. That's what I have for you guys this morning. Anything for me?
Yes, actually, since you've asked.
Yes.
We are looking at doing, getting some additional insurance and just to up our cap, I believe it was 5 million, was it 6 million? So in order for that 6 million annually, it just increases what we currently have. It was a little less than 400 or $500,000. So our insurance agent thought we probably should be getting it sooner than later.
Okay.
But we're trying to figure out the division, you know, it may be like 150,000, 160,000 for renew.
Uh-huh.
Kind of the portion of that, is that gonna be an issue? We
No.
thought we'd share it with everybody, but
No, I don't think that'll be an issue for us.
Okay.
It's I'm trying to think of the ratio. It's by full-time employees, how that's divided out. So that's where you came up with the number of
I'm
150.
not sure if it's full-time employees or the liability, the
Okay.
revenue, the revenue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna,
It's vital that we have it, and we understand that that's an expense for the department.
because we are getting a few more claims than we used to. We don't see that it's going away, so. And we
Yeah.
have an app with WCRG, so we thought we would just increase it. Okay.
So you think about 150,000?
150, 160 was four. I don't know how they're gonna divide it up, but I would think if they did renew, current expense.
Okay.
public works, I don't see it being more than that.
Right.
I don't know how they divide.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with that. That's one of those must situations.
The total amount is, I have it here. It was one of the first few things. We have a lot of.
490, it was 493,332.
490,000.
Not including taxes and fees.
Oh, apparently it was sales tax.
Just
So it'll
on-
be about 700,000.
Well, and Dell, and I'm gonna get with Mandy later to talk about how they're gonna do that too, so. more
Yeah.
information coming.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for the heads up. I don't know, Tom, if you've been included on the emails. We've been working with Blair and our insurance. The jail has been working with our nurse practitioner, Kylie Sanchez, on providing consultation to the jail and potentially doing some prescriptions for individuals in the jail. And because that would be occurring within the jail, there was a need to make sure her insurance, the coverage that we have on her, was increased to cover that ability. And so I didn't know if you were in the know on that or not, but just figured I'd bring that up and let you know that that's in process.
No, thank you for bringing that up. I was not aware of that. Any idea on how that squares with the medical services that Bill Coates and the sheriff's office went out to bid for in a contract they're planning on signing? Because I thought,
No idea on that part of it. Bill Coach has been working with us on our end, more specifically with Juan Padilla. And this is for consultation for the medical providers that are there and possibly who they're contracting as well. So if they had any questions on psychiatric medications that they are prescribing, they could consult with Kylie. And if there's anybody that they couldn't fit in or get in, they're wondering if it'd be possible for Kylie to act as another provider. So, but
gotcha.
I don't know the impacts to the current contracts or what's occurred on that side of things.
Okay, thanks. I'll get with Phil on that and then try and get some clarity there so you're aware of it as well.
So will the
Okay.
sheriff's office, the jail, will they be paying for that insurance increase?
I didn't hear you, Cindy. Sorry.
Will the jail budget be paying for that insurance increase?
We are on our end.
Okay, sometimes the jail has paid for that.
Okay.
Well, current expenses had to pay for insurance for our care providers.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't even question that. I felt like we're insuring Kylie as one of our providers. So it gives her a better ability to be able to go to the jail or to virtually do some of this work with the jail. So I didn't question which end was paying for it. I thought that's just kind of what we take on is insuring her as one of our providers.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. You
Thanks,
bet.
Dell.
Yeah. You guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you later.
Thank you,
See ya.
Dell.
And congratulations again, Tom.
Thank you, Dell.
We will go into recess for 2 minutes until 10:45. Good morning, it's 10:45 a.m. and we are here for a fairgrounds update with Jim McKiernan.
Morning.
Morning.
Oh, my camera froze. Come on there, camera. There we go. Not much to report this morning. We have Flannel Fest coming up in 2 weeks. Pre-sales are ahead of last year, so that's a good sign. We really targeted some advertising and marketing in the Wenatchee, Spokane, and Tri-Cities markets. As you probably know, we are looking for an accounting person. The job's been posted, and our goal would be to get that filled with the right person by mid-October or late October. I am still waiting, trying to get August numbers, payable or our expenditures and revenue numbers. I honestly, the last ones posted on the website are from May, and it'd sure be nice to see those numbers posted on the website so we can grab them whenever we want. I sent Mandy a note, and the reason we're asking for the August numbers is we have some tourism reports we have to turn in, basically summaries of the events. And we want to get the fair one in. I've got everything done except for knowing what my bottom line expense number is for fair. As soon as I know that, I can submit that. And then we'll have tourism LTAC requests to submit the 5th and 6th for both the county and the city. So it'd be nice to have those numbers by the end of the week at the latest so that we can get those submitted. Other than that, we're pretty good shape. We had NBHA finals this last weekend, which is a huge horse event, 460 horses. We're cleaning stalls now, and Mark Valentine came in this morning, and we have the antique tractor pull and veteran stand down this weekend. So we're busy, and we also have DOT training going on midweek this week. Washington State DOT comes in and does training in the 4-H building, so it's a busy week. And that's it. Oh, we got sheriff's training too. Sheriff's training on the grounds this week too. I don't know what kind of training, but if any of you want to volunteer as the perpetrator, I'm sure they're looking for people right now.
Only for the
Do they have a
dogs. Only
dog?
for the dogs.
Do they
The
have a
dogs are
dog?
there, I'll be there.
Oh, I'm sure there's dogs. Oh yeah. You might have to wear a suit.
That's
She's
fine.
ready. She's geared up. She really wants to.
Is that Barb or Caitlin that wants to do that?
It's Caitlin.
Okay. We'll put you in the suit so you can get tackled.
Hey, Jim, entertainment for the fair, have you ever thought of having, I know we've had them, but more blues bands or a blues band, or is blues not a big draw for our fair? What are your thoughts on that? The reason I ask, I was at a military reunion Friday night, and I found out a guy I used to fly with is in a blues band, and 2 years in a row, he's played at the International Competition for Blues in Memphis, and he's taken second place twice, and they think they're going to take first place this year. And I said, well, I'd love to get a tape from you and hear it. So he was going to send it to me, but he's based here in Washington. And I don't know if that's something that you might be interested in or not. I mean, I haven't heard him, so I have no idea, but.
Yeah, video would be good. Blues isn't a huge draw. We've had Darnell Scott. We've had Rick Serra. Rick gets a decent draw just because he's local. But it'd be one of those things and it kind of depends on price. I mean, if they're an affordable band under $5,000 for a 90-minute set, even less than that would be great. And we could put them on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So it just kind of depends on price and availability. The problem with local bands is they tend not to be available during the week. They want to play a Friday or Saturday, which is a hard part for us.
Yeah. Well, I'll see what I can get from them and send it your way.
Yeah, a video would be awesome because then we can show it to the Fair Advisory Committee and see what they say.
Yeah, I think they've got that. So apparently they have a good following, at least in Memphis, whenever they show up. So.
Oh yeah, and having somebody with that kind of recognition might, and if they're from the Spokane market, you might get some people from the Spokane market to come over.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you know.
Heck yeah. We did have a theft over the weekend of a white electric bike on Saturday night too. We're trying to look through the cameras to see when we can. I just started looking through the cameras to see when we can, if we can see when. We did have security on the grounds overnight, but it's only 2 guards typically at the Gold Gate, and they didn't see anything. So anyway, that's about it. Anything else? No? Okay. Thank you.
You.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye.
All right, we'll go into recess until 11 a.m. Good morning, it's 11 a.m. and we are here for a risk and safety coordinator update with Blair Koch.
Good morning. Just wanted to give you an update on a couple new claims that have come in since we last met. On 9/16, Public Works had an employee step out of a truck, stepped wrong and hurt their ankle. 9/18, Public Works had an employee lift a fridge and injured an existing injury. This employee was told not to lift heavy objects and they chose to still do it. So I will be talking to the L&I case manager about this, but they were told multiple times, do not lift, to not be doing that, and they were had their job modified to protect their injury, and they chose not to listen. This claim came in on 9/18, but however it happened on 8/20 at Renew. A client hit a employee car. It failed to report that they hit the employee's car. We have video evidence of it happening. Law enforcement was contacted. When we did reach out to the client that hit the car, they denied it. And the client was driving someone else's car. So.
Even better.
I know. I know, it's a real fun thing. So we know who the client was, but we don't know, we know who the owner is of the car, but we don't have insurance of it. So we're be turning it over to Clear Risk to try to see what we can do to help assist this our employee, because their vehicle was damaged. Just wanted to advise you guys on that. That's all the claims I have since last time we met. I did give you guys the special event form last week. Did a little bit more research. I did give it to Tom. I did give it to Jim as well. In the research, you guys brought up your concerns of, hey, what if someone can't get it in within that 60 days or whatever time frame we have? A lot of cities, counties do have a rush fee. It is $100 to try to rush it through. That's something we can consider doing. The concern is would it give us enough time to go through the process to make sure we properly vet the events, to make sure we don't let something slip through and then approve something that could put us in the county in some water for letting things go through. The prices, what I was seeing, some of them were 430. One county was 430 to 490 plus a tech surcharge depending on the event. Another county was $500 for just and then another one was $2,500, which I thought was outrageous for.
Have you received any feedback from Coach's office?
Jim and I talked a little bit, and he's going to be working through it too. So we'll be working on that, and then I'll work with you on it as well. But then also other places had separate fees for sending the fire marshal out, or different other departments or offices to cover some of the fees that would go out there to work with them. So I think that's definitely something we may want to consider. And then possible ordinances if an event decides that if we don't approve it and they still go through and have it, to shut it down to help protect us and do something like that. Or if they do something that's not approved, how do we protect the county on something like that? So that will be something I'll work with Tom, Jim, and probably the sheriff on, and then come to you guys with. So that's what I'll do with Tom next. Any questions on the special event form before I move on? Okay. Friday I did the Tyler training with Mandy, so I can log into that now and start working on that. So I can log in. I have access to Tyler now. So we got that done, and I am working on that.
Have you been able to log in and completely set up your profile?
I got my profile set up now, yes. So I'm able to get in there, and I will be working with you and Decorah on the rest of it. So she is working with me on that. I got the baskets. I will be picking up the baskets for Wednesday for all the personnel that will be entered in the drawing for those that completed the local GovU training. So Clear Risk donated baskets, and so did Shane Heston. So we'll have a couple of giveaways at the barbecue on Wednesday.
So we kind of to encourage those that have taken the training that they were supposed to, the required, we thought we would just kind of offer a little,
I've got 2 courses left. I got them all done, but.
get going so you can be.
So you're not in the training.
No, but I'm
So-
honest about it.
Yep. So, but no, we have over 300
Good.
employees that have finished, which was great to see.
Yeah.
So
Claire,
we-
thank you for getting the gift.
Yeah.
Because that'll be nice. It'll be something kind of fun.
I don't know what Clear Risk did, but I know Shane Heston stepped up and put together some nice baskets for us. So it'll be nice to have some giveaways for the employees. So that will be there. And then we do have the WCRG retreat that, Cindy, you and I will be leaving for on Wednesday afternoon. So I'll be gone till Friday afternoon.
Where's that?
Leavenworth. So that is what I have. And so now I'm working with L&I, trying to clean that up and hopefully try to reduce our cost with L&I. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Blair.
Yep.
Anything else? No? We will go into recess until 11:15. Good morning, it's 11:15 a.m. and we are here with the Treasurer's Office update with Treasurer Daryl Pheasant.
Okay, a couple items. Friday, I was told it was down in the email string to provide wire instructions for the something that you need for mitigation hearing. Money come in before you have your hearing tomorrow. Well,
Time out. You're losing me. Like,
you have some solar energy thing.
oh, yes.
You have a
Okay.
hearing tomorrow.
Yep.
And the way Jim Cook talks about it is the money has to come in prior to the hearing. So, but this timing wasn't clear. And of course, Carrie's gone to decide to do some scrambling to get this information to them. And they wanted stuff that I couldn't produce. And so I figured out something else. But so this near $3 million, I guess, is supposed to come in by today or tomorrow. And I'm supposed to let Jim know it came in. I didn't understand it as a condition of the hearing, tomorrow's hearing. This is all a quick turnaround to get stuff to these people. And then the person who does those wires didn't understand that this is supposed to be this fast as well. So we'll see what happens. So to see if we get that money, but we're getting money and we haven't even created a fund for it yet to deposit into. Since this is all so quick, and Mandy left me a message Thursday night, and I haven't talked to her yet about what is this new fund is supposed to go into and who's supposed to do the budget for it. When you have a new fund, you then have budgets to see if you can spend any of it or what would happen, what is the purpose of this fund. So I don't know if you have that discussion today or not. You're getting near $3 million and it's in limbo.
Yeah, I just assumed Jim had got that all straightened out with you guys.
I don't know. I don't know what Mandy knows.
Okay.
And so there's that.
Was it some kind of a permit fee that they're sending?
It's a mitigation payment that's held for a long time period.
For the removal of the solar panels if they go under or walk away.
So, okay.
Yeah, and then Jim said there's a bunch more in the works.
Are we allowed to invest that and realize the interest on that? Kind of like,
Well, that's comes down to the creation of the fund, where you decide if you want to invest it or not. Of which, if you don't invest it, the money goes to current expense. If you do invest it, it goes into the fund. Now, unfortunately, if this money is for future costs to clean up property, if it's not done, then the growth, you have a growth factor of over time for costs. What does it cost now? But I don't know if the amount was set up for the expectation of costs in the future or cost now. So if it's cost now, obviously it needs a growth factor, which the only way it's going to grow is interest income.
Probably need to see the contract.
Right. So that's the thing but it has to be, I cannot invest non-public funds. So here's the problem. Okay, say they clean it up and then they're going to want their money back. Well, they can't get it back with interest because I can't, it was never public funds in the first place if they get it back. So I don't know what the intentions of this mitigation payment is, because I'm not allowed to invest in things that are not public funds. Because first it's described to me as their monies. Well, I can't invest those. All it does, then it just sits somewhere.
Probably gonna need to talk to Jim about that.
So that's a question. All right, so there's that topic. Also in the paper, today's paper, Columbia Basin Herald, talked about the port deciding not to do a recreation project on parcels they bought and try to sell them, get their money back to someone.
Which port?
Port of Quincy. So here's the issues. When we had these parcels that existed and was in a certain tax code, the port buys it, and of course becomes exempt from that point on. But somehow the assessor's office decided to change the makeup of that tax code to only have 2 taxing districts on it, which didn't matter as long as the port owned it and is exempt, because it wasn't going to go to those districts anyway because it doesn't have taxes. Well, I had alerted Melissa about this long ago and it never got fixed. So then now the port's going to sell it, and now it's going to go back to taxable, of which then the only taxes it goes is to these 2 taxing districts, and not all of them. Current expense is not in that equation. So maybe she will look at that more, and fix that parcel. The parcel was a new tax code was created the port doesn't know why she did it. And she doesn't, and I couldn't get an explanation from her why she did that. Create a whole new tax code for that. So
she hasn't responded to you, or?
Like every other email I sent to her.
Okay.
So now it actually truly matters that we actually fix that tax code so that the prorated taxes that go on for the rest of the year actually go to all the districts it's supposed to go to. So we'll see. Right now, we're trying to find those 2 parcels, and I'll have to send another email to her telling her that it matters that she fixes it. So we bought a $20 million investment today. We had another one mature today that was at a 0.55 or 0.6% coupon rate. So it was good to get rid of that low rate item and invest at a 4.19, but at a discount. So we're getting a better yield, a 4.35 yield to December. Then it goes back to 4.19 if it doesn't get called. The state pool rate changed to 4.18 this morning. And where it used to be a week ago, 4.36. So we're getting close to that quarter change. And then the state pool will level off until the next possible rate cut. Let's see here.
What was the $20 million investment?
I just bought a farm credit bank investment that actually just came out, and we have some prepaid interest to pay and then get a discount. So this is a rare comment. You know, right now we're very particular on what we're buying, and this one actually fit everything. But we don't have expectations these type of things will pop up on a daily basis. So we just keep saying no until something special like this comes up. And then usually buy in 10 million blocks, but because it's so rare to find these things, I bought 20 million instead. Just because it's not easy to find this good combination of a good coupon rate at a discount and a near 3 months yield on that rate. And that if it doesn't get called, that's a good thing to have in the portfolio anyway. So it's asking a lot. So
So do you guys check those every day?
we get a lot of emails every day of what the market is and offers. And so a lot of days we don't have enough time to look at the emails. Too busy. Not sure, since my pain sitting down is painful, if I can think of much more. Is Melissa going to be coming today?
No, she canceled.
And I hope that when she does come in, that you start asking questions for her to find out what she's doing. Maybe you'll get answers that I can't seem to get.
Carol, can you CC me on your emails that you send to her?
Yeah. I just try to not, since she's accused me of different types of harassments in the past that ended up being unfounded, but seems easy for her to do without then following up.
Well, it'd just be nice to.
Yeah, I know. I try to pace them out
Right. Well,
so that she can't use emails as a harassment tool. So, and I talked to Shawnee County Treasurer this morning about their TIF. He has some bullet points present to their group this week on possible lawsuit. A lot of these points came from me, so I was just talk about the levy process. Yeah, unfortunately, you have the past assessor, who is their community director, Deanne Walter, who's telling the commissioners that these TIFs will do a whole bunch of things that they won't do to make them want to sue even more. And Chelan. And
this is
so,
on the Malaga property, right?
yes. A lot of acres, a lot of parcels. So, but trying to encourage that there's major problems with the law right now. And all these unaddressed issues and unaddressed consequences. So again, I encourage you to have a meeting, to set up a meeting with our legislators who were there at the time of the vote to see if they really knew what they were voting on and if this is something they want to continue to have as a law. Because this law was not very well vetted. The problem is the law was so poorly written that DOR couldn't respond in time to tell them all the problems, and they're supposed to be a neutral party. So it's the counties that had to do all the vetting and seeing how DOR would respond after the law is in effect to now know that the law is not good. So that's about it for me.
Thank you, Daryl. Anything for Daryl?
Nope. Thank you,
All
Darryl.
right, we'll go into recess the assessor's office meeting has been canceled, so we will be back at 11:45 with the coroner.
Daryl, do you want some? No, I don't recognize
How are you
that
doing?
is Brooks.
I know, man, that's odd, isn't it? Hello.
Your tie-dye.
How are you?
Tom, I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Good morning, it's
Sit by you.
11:45 a.m. and we are here for a coroner's office update. Well, you got a new one coming, that's a good update.
That is a great update. I just came from the WorkSource building.
Yeah.
Visited with Kevin as far as the what ifs and how we're gonna work that. I think that.
The work release building?
Or work release, sorry,
release,
work release. That has some positive implications to it, so.
Temporary more.
Like you talked with Will.
Yeah, I think that part's gonna work out pretty well. I guess the bigger question I have, I was going through some of our records from years past and pulled out this information about who was responsible and who did what up at the hospital. And the county provided funding for all that space that we're in. It just kind of breaks my heart that we put all that money into that building and then have to leave.
When Tom and I went there, I brought that up and then they argued like, oh no.
Okay, so the
Remember that?
county
I
did pay
did.
for that.
How long ago was that?
That wing?
Yeah, the entire thing. Yeah, the only thing that the county didn't pay for was the cooler, the door, the walls, the county paid for the building of that,
Okay.
the brick and mortar around that. But I think the hospital bought the
And they won't
cooler.
allow us to utilize.
Well, it just seems crazy to me that, just coming from that building where we were at, it's gonna accommodate us, we're gonna be fine. But it's gonna take some work to take stuff out of our current facility.
Yeah.
To put that into there and retrofit it. And, the washing and dryers and all that stuff, it's just, if we could, it just seems crazy not to be able to stay there for a year in the.
Well, the problem isn't that, it's that you can't separate the power and the HVAC and the lighting and all other things that are in the whole building. It's not like a separate building inside the building.
Cost one, if we just talk money.
Yeah.
Is it more money to separate that and put it on
It's just not easily done, and we can't maintain the entire hospital structure from a maintenance standpoint, because they're gonna walk away from it. We're gonna be, we would end up being responsible for,
more than just that corner?
oh yeah, and we'd also be responsible for anybody that decided to squat and the external.
I understand that. So it's more than just that. It's the road to get into it. It's the security piece.
Fencing it all off once they leave.
Yeah.
Well, they were working, and I have not gotten an update from Teresa since our last meeting. They said they were working on a possible deal for a buyer, but we haven't gotten an update on
So
that.
what was the agreement when we put the
Is that a copy?
coroner's office in, the morgue
It's not really the agreement. It's just,
that we paid for it?
yeah, it's just the walls that were built and
That we paid for.
that we paid for. Yeah, it's just,
Yes.
Was it after, well, obviously it was after, so we tied into their electrical and their plumbing.
yeah, I mean, you can have that if you want. What's that?
We tied into their electrical, we tied into their plumbing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a handshake agreement with the hospital that, we would provide even though they bought the cooler physically, we would provide the equipment to go in there, share the tables. They would share the X-ray machine, the towels, the things to upkeep that. We would do autopsies for the hospital. It was a give and take. It wasn't like we were getting the short end
I
of the
didn't realize
stick at
we
all.
built, when did we build the addition?
Oh, man,
Well, this,
it's been 20 years ago anyway.
well, almost 30, 27 years. This is 1998.
Kind of when it started, yeah. I'm not sure the exact date, but
So
yeah.
Tom, are they saying they're gonna shut the power off completely to that building and the water?
Yeah, well, I think it depends. It depends on if they find a buyer or not, because if they can't find a buyer, they're gonna demolish the building. That's what I was told. They're not gonna fence it off, they're just gonna demolish it. Because they don't want to have to worry about securing the building or trying to maintain it, and they're afraid of squatters going in there. So if they don't have somebody to actually buy the building, that they were gonna demolish it. That's what their plan was. I can, part of this, and some of this, I have to wait on, because I don't have the time to put the expertise into it to find out what we can or can't do.
Come on, Tom, you have plenty of time.
I'm waiting for Leidig to sign their contract. As soon as they get their contract signed, we can cut those guys loose on it, along with the architect. The architect can go out there with the project manager from Leidig, and we can look at that. They can say, oh, you can do A, B, C.
Okay.
Or, because that, one of the very first things we have to do is come up with that contingency plan. They're already working on the civil. The survey is being done. They're looking at soil conditions. A lot of the civil work for the new site is already underway. So we have to be careful with design, how far we get, because of the rules on GCCM. And I have to call Leidig today. I was surprised. I know I talked to them last week and they were close to signing that. They weren't gonna make any changes, but their legal team has to review the GCCM contract, so.
And I understand, I don't see
Yeah.
all the ins and outs, I just see the
Yeah.
big picture of
No, it's
why or
good,
why
it's
not.
good. I mean, I've been to your space on Ivy. I've never been to your space in the hospital,
Yeah.
so.
Come on over. Well, don't come over tomorrow. We're real busy in there tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't need to.
Maybe come
I
over
don't need to
Wednesday.
see you on a busy day, so.
Yeah, other than that, I guess this ties in a little bit to, I had a meeting with accounting to get an idea of when my budget's gonna be due for the next year. And a lot of this, I don't know where to go with it, because if we're gonna be in an interim space, we're gonna need funding for towels, x-rays, a lot of things that the hospital does now that we're gonna have to find a spot for and try to guess as far as how much that's gonna cost to
So
get
what
us
I would
through
do,
that year.
sometimes when we've asked other elected officials and department heads, when they're adding something in their budget, don't actually put it in the budget. And I don't know how Mandy is handling it, but do an addendum to, and I think you're just gonna have to list it. And we probably will have to adopt it, because unless we find something where we can pull the power, the water and everything else and isolate
Yeah.
that little portion. to the
Well,
building,
and again, even if we do and the hospital's gone,
we
we're
still-
counting on the hospital to do our laundry and x-rays and some of those things that now we're gonna have to outsource until our new
So, yeah,
facility's
put
built.
that in the
So,
budget.
We have laundry facilities at work release, so you can do laundry there.
Right.
right, I understand that.
Well, but that's a drive to get your laundry done.
But we've still
Are you
got to,
But
relocating
that's
here?
for the temporary.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, we still have to figure out x-rays. We've got to buy the towels, all the laundry to get laundered, because now we don't own any of it. All that is owned by the hospital. So it's just stepping through those processes for my budget coming up this next year, and saying, okay, $1,500 and a x-ray at the hospital, times that by, we probably do at least 90. I don't know what that comes out to, but that's
Who
gonna be,
contract with, weren't we looking for our own x-ray machine?
right, in the new facility.
Can't we contract with the new Samaritan Hospital? We can use the old Samaritan Hospital until they move out. We should be able to contract with the new Samaritan Hospital for
Right,
those things. until
Right,
we get
which would be
Where
about
goes this?
$1,500 an x-ray. Yeah, and so those are the things that I'm trying to figure out. What do I put in my budget for that? But other than that, I mean, that's the stuff that's the cobwebs in my head for this year.
But if you're at Ephrata, wouldn't it be easier to contract with the Ephrata Hospital?
Maybe,
They may have a better price.
they may be, yeah.
You might look at your historical figures on how many, I know it's never the same, but some kind of an average on those services, how many times you're gonna have to do that, and come up with a number there.
About 90.
Yeah.
Right now, we're of the 500, investigations that we do, we x-ray about 90 that are really ones we
And
have
they're
to.
charging 1,500,
Yeah,
1,200?
yeah. The other thing that maybe crossed my mind is, will the hospital be taking their portable x-ray with them? Would they sell it? Could we use that in the interim?
I would look into it.
Is it,
How old is the portable?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just something that I thought of. You know, what's out there, and this is just coming to me, I haven't done
Well, and
anything about it.
you have a relationship with those x-ray folks, right? Like
Yeah,
the techs,
yeah.
So that would
Well, they're probably not
See
the
how
ones that
old it
know
is.
whether they're moving it. It's probably.
Right, they would know the age of it and what, if it's got any life
Maybe
left in
we
it,
can
work something out there.
put it on
And
sale.
is it less expensive to buy a used portable x-ray in the
I think for
interim?
90-some thousand, 145,000.
Again, some of those questions would probably.
Yeah, I'll have to do some,
from you.
right, I
Sit
need to
down.
do some homework on it.
And then, yeah, start working on that, and then we can always average out the costs on a new versus an old, or
Right.
what have you, or maybe we buy the new one and use it temporarily until you're,
And then sell it,
well,
Or just move it to the new facility.
move it to a new facility.
yeah, and have it as a temporary, as a
Yeah.
backup or
We
something.
do have to think of what are the requirements for like lead lined walls and things like that?
Not for a portable,
It's not.
yeah,
We
because
have
all we
concrete
use,
walls.
yeah, all we, as long as you just step out of the room, you're fine.
We have a bag scanner in the law and justice building, and we could just use.
There you go.
the
Just use that.
Security guys. Sorry. Corner human.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Anyway,
That
that's
might
all
be
I've got.
something, because I believe they're getting new equipment.
Say that again,
I
Sid.
believe they're getting new equipment.
That's what I
Yeah, I think so too.
is this finalized or is that-
I'll do some,
That might work out for us.
yeah, I'll do some homework on that, but those are the things that are popping up in my mind and concerns.
Has the hospital board decided how long they're gonna try to sell the building? Or is it still up in the air?
They've held that really close to the vest. They said they were working with the state and they didn't really say anything outside of that. I had reached out to the VA. The VA is looking for inpatient hospital services in rural communities that have a growing veterans population. But almost as bad as the Department of Justice trying to get traction on that and get people to call you back has been really hard.
Well, that's my question is, are they gonna try to sell it for a while? So while they're trying to sell it, I mean, obviously they're not gonna turn the power off and the water off while they're trying to sell it. I just don't understand why they wouldn't work with us and allow that to stay there as long as possible.
It didn't sound like well, that wasn't an option. Like in our meeting, it wasn't an
It
option.
was pretty much a,
Yeah, like when they leave,
no way.
they're shutting it down. And then if it's not, it doesn't have a buyer in mind, it's getting demolished. And as soon as they leave, I think they were shutting everything off and fencing the property.
Well, now that I've got resolution with Teresa on the other thing, let me talk to Joe Kunkel, their project manager, and find out if he can give me an update. I'll call him later on
And
today.
he seems to be a reasonable guy.
He's great.
Yeah, I
He's
like
on the outside. He's just doing his project.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he would be a good go-between. Anyway, you have anything for me? Anything questions?
I
or-
think a portable x-ray machine, if it's under 140 grand or 150 is a great idea. Because you probably use it again.
Yeah, for sure. And it would be less expensive than outsourcing, maybe even too afraid. I'll check those things. Next meeting that we have, I'll have some answers to those.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need it anyway, so.
Yeah. Right. The lock or the
X-ray
machine?
and we've got
Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe both.
We've got a little bit to figure some of this stuff out, and it's
Yeah.
really valuable for the lighting team to know that stuff too. So, and they can help. We can lean on them, and they can help us. with
And
that,
thanks
so.
for facilitating that meeting with Leidig. That was awesome.
Yeah,
That turned out great.
Yeah, so, Craig and a couple of the staff came to the job site trailer and met with the architect and with lighting, and who the project manager is gonna be for the coroner's office. So, it was
Yeah,
good.
it was really,
We were in there for a while.
really beneficial. And we could have been there longer. It was awesome.
Well, and Craig's had a good back and forth already with the architect who's designing it, and they've already made updates to the floor plan, so there's a lot of valuable discussion
Yeah.
It's already gone back and forth, so we're really close on an actual floor plan.
Yeah.
But we can, as soon as lighting comes on board, we can start figuring out some pricing.
Well, that's good. Thank you, Craig, for participating.
That's
Someone
awesome.
else's-
Yeah.
and Tom, thanks for being the liaison to
Yeah, worked great.
facilitate that.
Absolutely worked out great.
We need to move it as quickly as we can.
All right, well, I'll at this point know that the hospital is at least a hard no.
Well, I don't know,
The-
somebody might buy it and like to keep renting or leasing it, or
I mean, something might come up, I don't know.
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
That's about all
and
we can do.
1998, I don't know, so.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. It seems nebulous, right? I mean, we may have built it, but I don't know about all the equipment.
Right.
I'm sure that there's been maintenance or even replacements done since 1998.
Nope.
Wow.
Everything, I mean, we've
They don't
kept
build
pretty
it
good
like that
count.
anymore.
We've kept real good care of it too.
Yeah.
That helps. So.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Appreciate you.
I can leave?
Yep. You're free to go.
I was afraid of that. I was afraid of that. Okay, see you next month or in between.
All
And
right.
Thank
we'll
you,
talk
Craig.
to you
Soon.
sometime in the
Maybe
interim.
at the barbecue?
Yes, yeah.
See you in a couple days.
Do I owe you? Who do I-
Will.
Okay,
Yeah, we did it kind of backwards this year,
okay.
so.
Do you have an amount? You want
No.
to Venmo you or?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell everyone on Wednesday.
Give me,
It'll be the same or less than last year.
Yeah, give me an assignment and I'll,
All right,
yeah.
that sounds good.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Thank you,
Keep
Craig.
smiling, guys.
You
Stay out of
too.
trouble.
Hey, Craig,
Yes.
just FYI, if you haven't taken your mandatory classes, those who have taken it, your employees, the HR sent out. you had
The
some-
ones that were like 9 hours long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can speed up some of the
It's
videos.
1 hour long. There's just 9 of them.
Yes.
Anyway, that
Hey,
one.
Not for me. There's one that was 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Elected
I haven't
official
done that one
department
yet.
head. Yeah. We do have prizes if your name will be thrown in a basket
We've
or,
been done for 2 months.
so if you've done it, then
Our
you'll
whole
be
office is done with
You're in
it.
the running now.
great.
We were done, honestly, we were done with it before we even started. But we completed it. Let me put
Okay,
it that
well,
way.
good. Well, there are prizes available,
See ya.
All right.
possible prize.
Thanks.
All right, so rolling right into our next meeting is tourism contract renewal discussion. This
Pam can join us at the table.
This meeting was set up to basically go over with the Tourism Advisory Committee about the request from their marketing manager to become a director. Do we want to do executive session for this meeting or have it open?
Did
Essentially
Sean
reviewing
confirm
the-
coming?
Sean's
She's
online.
online? Okay.
We don't hear you though, Sean.
Can't hear you, Sean.
Do we
So I
allow
have my
Sean
back to her.
access? Okay.
I'm unmuted now.
There you go.
I believe we can go into executive session for
Evaluation.
evaluations and, yes.
I think probably is better. So start with, want to go the whole 30 minutes or go
Let's go
15,
15
20?
minutes.
We'll come out at 12:20. Let's go whatever minutes that is. So we will be going into executive session beginning at 12:03, returning at 12:20 for evaluation RCW 42.30.1101G. Oh, you'll move her?
Yeah.
Okay. We will be continuing executive session for 10 more minutes, coming out at 12:30 p.m. We are out of executive session. Do we have any further things for this meeting?
So I believe when an application is put forward to LTAC is the board that will decide the funds, the different funds. If we are not happy with it, we can't change it, but we can submit it back to LTAC to look at the funding or encourage them to increase or decrease the funding. So we can ask for a review of it, so that might help.
Okay, great.
Or maybe not.
I will be back before we have to do our presentation to LTAC, so I'll be there with you.
Another meeting with, after this one,
Oh.
Sean and Pam and Rochelle, is that something that commissioners are wanting to do?
I mean, if they're not for doing the director position, then I would say no, let them do their review and then come back to us. I would do your review sooner than later. So if RFQ need to take place in the future, you have time.
Great.
Rob, just on our calendar, it looks like position management has been canceled. Do we want to,
It's up to you too.
I think we've discussed.
I think I'm here
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good day.
You too.
To have our 1:45 to 2 o'clock work
Do you have
session.
anything for work session, Kevin?
I don't have any.
Did you have anything for work session? Well then,
We can cancel work session
Yeah.
if we don't have anything. Okay.
and then am I in person with you today?
For what?
Our meeting, I believe, is at 2:30 or 2?
That too,
Three?
financial
Oh.
resources meeting.
That's right, yes, that's Teams,
Okay.
that's Teams meeting.
Well, then I'll go to my lunch meeting and then I'll decide if I'll come hang out with you or leave. Anything else for Pam? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we will adjourn for the day. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:30 for consent agenda review and work session.